Hello, welcome to episode number 513 of the TEW Challenge Run. This is going to be ECW for week 3 of April 2024. And yeah, it is the show before the 2024 draft. And yeah, tonight we've got an ECW World Championship match, brother versus brother, Jimmy versus Jay, as well as a WrestleMania rematch for the Television Championship as Kyle O'Reilly defends the belt against the former champion ZSJ. So yeah, without any more further ado, let's jump straight into tonight's show. Triple H opens the show. We just see him backstage. He doesn't come out. And yeah, he says, last week, it was the first show after WrestleMania, and he said nobody has seen or heard from Paul Heyman since WrestleMania. And unfortunately, that has continued this week. Heyman has left us all, out in the cold. We haven't seen him nor Roman Reigns since WrestleMania, and obviously ECW being his baby, his mastermind, he runs things around here. But if Heyman's not going to show up, then it's time that we crown an interim ECW general manager in his time away. So, I'm here to announce that next week on ECW's night of the WWE draft, we will reveal the new interim general manager of ECW in the absence of Mr. Paul Heyman. All will be revealed next week. So yeah, just a quick announcement from Triple H, saying that next week we will reveal who will be the temporary general manager, and I guess in Heyman's absence. And yeah, if you watch the entire goal setting fucking video, you know exactly who it is. If you didn't, you won't guess it in a million guesses. But yeah, I've actually sat back and thought, if you know who it is, you know why this is funny. Sat back and had to concoct a storyline that I'm content with this person being the ECW general manager. And I think I've found something. It's not necessarily going to be good because of the nature of it, but something that I will find fun. So yeah, the new ECW general manager has been announced next week. 86. That's kind of disappointing. Of course it's still blue because it's the god, of course. But I put it for 22 minutes. Apparently I didn't have the psychology to go that long. I was hoping this was going to hit the high 90s. But yeah, Kyle O'Reilly defeats ZSJ in a Purple Brainbuster in 22:01. 94 for the god, 92 for ZSJ. So yeah, you can see why I'm let down by that 86. This match, getting this rating, has now made me change up some plans because... Okay, fuck it, I can just say it out loud. I was going to do a 30-minute Iron Man match between these two at One Night Stand. But now 22 minutes has been dinged for psychology. That might not be smart. And I had another match down the line that I wanted to do an Iron Man stipulation for anyway. So I'll just go with that one. Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, the God does make turns number 2 of the ECW World Television Championship. Long may he reign, because he is an awesome God. And he does reign from heaven above with wisdom, power and love. And all of that. Then get a quick video of the Ichiban girls in training. Being Aoi Maikawa, Meiko Satomura, and Yoko Uehara. And Meiko's there, she's ordering Aoi to spar with Yoko. And then Yoko kicks... No, oh sorry, Aoi kicks Meiko really hard in the chest. As part of their training. And then Yoko just goes flying down and lands on her back or whatever. And we see her, she flies through the back and she lands at the feet of 3 people. And then we pan up. And it's Cammy and the Tag Team Champions. Because again, they are the only 2 members of Queendom who can float. Because champion and manager's license. Because, I just thought I would check by ECW, Since becoming the Women's Tag Team Champions once again, our Queendom has expanded its reach. Everything the light touches is ours, and now more recently that light has begun to fester and glow in bright places that used to be dark, such as ECW. And I come down here and I've come to expect to see our old pal Julia, but I see she's not here tonight, but she's apparently left all of her friendship in this woman down at my feet here. And then Albie gets in their face, he goes, "What do you want?" She goes, "Oh, don't mind us, we're just the tag team champions stopping by. But if you wanted to prove that you're so legendary, Meiko, and that Aoi's the future of women's professional wrestling from Japan, well, why don't you put your money where your mouth is tonight when you face the real Joshi legend, the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, and the heir apparent Utami Hayashishita for those women's tag team champions. And then, the match is made. Maybe we'll get a women's tag team title match tonight as well. Asuka and Utami defending against Meiko and Aoi. Then come back to Dolph Ziggler in his locker room when Cesaro and Adam Cole and the rest of the Paragon walk in. Not the Fritz brothers. And we'll get to why in a sec. Because Dolph, last week was a bit of a weird situation you found yourself in, We could be standing here with a championship champion. Or championship champion. Championship title over the shoulder of Bobby Roode right now, but we're not. And why aren't we, Dolph? And Dolph's like, because of me. He goes, yeah, because of you. So what you going to do about it, Dolph? Because whether you like it or not, this is your life now. You're a part of us. You're in the Paragon. And the next chapter of our story has to be written if you by our side and you have to be on the same page as us. So tonight, Bobby's going to sit back here with you to make sure you don't do anything stupid like you did last week. And Kevin and David are going to be part of this fatal 4-way tag team match coming up later on tonight where they're going to win and they can become the new #1 contenders for the ECW Tag Team Championships. And then they're going to show you what it is like for the Paragon to win. Got it? Ziggler's like, yeah, got it. 46. Kim McQueen's back. She defeats Chelsea Green in 4-82 with a spear. 54 for Kim McQueen. 55 for Chelsea Green. #bars. And yeah, just a second win for Kim, who made her debut on ECW last week, and here she comes again with a win over somebody we actually recognise this week. Then get a sit-down interview with Mackenzie Mitchell as Bill Florence. It says, Florence, WrestleMania was your coronation as the ECW Women's Champion, and last week you and Jey Uso ushered in this new post-WrestleMania era of ECW with you two on top. Rather than, dominance from the Bloodline and dominance from Julia, it's now two of the fans' own reaching the top with their own success. That must feel good. Florence like, it does, Mackenzie, me and Jay, last week we had a bit of fun, but, it's all well and good to have your fun when you're the champion, but because I've got to have eyes in the back of my head. Because Julia, I haven't seen her since WrestleMania. There's a draft coming up that could shake up the entire landscape of this division. And you've got the women who are already here that are threats to my championship. You've got Cor Jade, who appears to have an agenda right now. You've got Liv and Shido, who can't stop ripping each other's throats out. You've got girls like Ruby Riott, Blair Davenport, my old friend. And a whole lot more. And, while we may look at some of these names and think, it's not as glamorous as having a Becky Lynch or a Charlotte Flair or a Sasha Banks or an Io Sky or a Bianca Belair or a Rhea Ripley, but that's not what ECW is about. ECW is about the grind. It's about making this championship worth it. And, as much as I may hate Julia for everything that we've been through in our careers so far, she fits the mold for what ECW is all about. I can't deny her talent in that ring, and I'm like to think she'd say the same thing about me. So Mackenzie, it's not about that. It's about who's next to step up. Who fancies themselves ECW Women's Champion. Because whoever that person is, they've got to bring their best. Because I don't plan on dropping this anytime soon. I certainly don't plan on dropping it to anybody who's not ready for that spot. Shida walks in. And she takes a seat opposite. She shoos Mackenzie off her chair and takes a seat in that chair. And she says, Florence, I'm ready. I've cut ties with any dead weight holding me back. No more tag teams. That title is mine. Florence like, well, there you go. You want to make a challenge for that championship, Again, I said I'm all welcome, but first thing, you might want to take care of that problem. She sort of points behind Shida. The camera pans and Liv is standing there behind Shida. She cracks a kendo stick over her back, dumps her out of the chair, and they start brawling around the set. Florence sort of just awkwardly scoots away, and then Liv and Shida continue their brawl. Get Matt Cardona and Kurt Hawkins promo. And he goes, I can't believe this, Kurt. I can't believe how we're being treated and how we're not being respected here on ECW. Do you guys know who you've got? You've got the Indie God. You've got the King of Extreme. You've got the longest reigning ECW television champion of all time. And you're treating him like garbage. What? Because we're not nepotism babies like Hook and those baby Dudley boys who got the scoop on us and jumped us at WrestleMania when we were outnumbered, beating 2 old men. Now that's not how it's going to stand. Because whether I stay on ECW or not, things are going to change around here. You've got to start treating me with respect, treating me for who I am, the most influential wrestler of the 21st century. Look it up, kids, it's true. You know, there'd be no TikTok, there'd be no Instagram, there'd be no YouTube. None of this would exist in the world of professional wrestling if not for the doors that I broke down. And I think, quite frankly, I'm sick of being overlooked for it. Because while Zack Ryder may be dead, everything that I did in my previous life lives on. And it's stuff you all take for granted right now. And next week I'm coming to the ring and I demand my thank you. Ah, 74, because of back strain. Angel Garza's got a back strain, which made this match tank in ratings because TEW is a good game. Yeah. But it is the Fritz brothers who win. So yeah, with no Dolph Ziggler out there, the Fritz brothers do pick up the win. David Fritz pins King Cobain in 12:53. 90 for Angel Garza, 94 for Andrade, 79 for Emerson Frost, 75 for Ken Cobain, 80 for Rip Fowler, 78 for Jagger Reed, 79 for Kevin Fritz, and 80 for David. So, apart from the Mexicans who did the best, you know, everybody's scoring about the same here. Yeah. But the Fritz brothers do have earned a shot at Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander's ECW Tag Team Championships in the future, which I've just realised now. There, I did all this shit about, these title matches need to be done before the draft. We don't know who's going to stay where after the draft. Whoops. I mean, I've basically all but confirmed that the Paragon are staying on ECW anyway, so hey, there you go. Have that spoiler for free. Cora. Get a video package of Cor Jade. Her growing up, you know, watching a wrestling fan. All the people she used to grow up idolizing, like AJ Lee, CM Punk. She says, oftentimes in situations like this, I think to myself, what would CM Punk do? You know, he didn't take no shit. He didn't sit back and wait for opportunities to be handed for him. He went out and he disrupted the system. He went out and made things how he wanted them to be. And sure, there are a lot of people that think he did what he did for just himself and not for the greater good, but is that really a bad thing? When you're better than anybody else, is trying to make sure you're where you belong. Is that really such a bad thing after all? And now I have to sit back, I have to watch my old friends, you know, Bailey, who ripped apart our friendship because she got jealous. Now you will love Bailey. You will think Bailey's great. And Dakota, the woman who she betrayed because I didn't have any hand in all of this, because I was tired. I wasn't disrupting the system. I just wanted to be hanging around my friends who I idolized. Now she's the most popular woman over on SmackDown. You know, you love her. She outsmarted Queendom. She's the women's world champion. Life is good for damage control. And then there's me. Sure, I've done alright, but alright's not good enough when you're Cor Jade. Alright is only good enough if you're alright. But I'm not alright. I'm great. So I need to stop looking at my idols of the present and look back to my idols of the past. And then there's a scene of like her ripping a poster of Bailey off a wall. And then underneath it you get like CM Punk and Money in the Bank, whatever. I'm not going to sit back and allow the system to chew me up and spit me out. Because who cares about the system? Screw the system. This isn't the new era of WWE. It is a new era, but it's the era of Jade. And I'm calling the Fritz's return with JC Jane to the locker room with Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode in it. Because, whoa, did you see that? Why did I tell you, Dolph? Winners We win in the Paragon. That's what we do, Dolph. You should know you're a former ECW World Champion. You beat Roman Reigns, for God's sakes. And now, we've got a Charlotte Tag Team Championship. Kevin and David, Tag Team Wrestling Royally, gonna become Tag Team Champions. And Dolph goes, yeah, great. And he goes, Bobby, what did you do to him? And Bobby Roode goes, we were just, catching up. It's been a while, dirty dogs and all that. And Cole goes, dirty dogs. Nobody cares about the dirty dogs, okay? We care about the Paragon. Nobody cares about your friendship. You're not here to be buddy-buddy. You're here to win. And that's what Kevin and David did. And that's what you failed to do last week, Bobby. That's what I did at WrestleMania. And that's what Dolph failed to do at WrestleMania against me. But hey, it's alright, Dolph. It's alright, Dolph. I'm not going to hold that against you because you could put anybody in there against Adam Cole Bay and he'd lose. But we need both of you on your Ray game because Kevin and David will win those ECW Tag Team Championships. That's only the beginning. And once they do, Bobby, you'll go and get that television championship back that you deserved last week. And I guess I'll be targeting main event Jey Uso. 82, we'll take that. It's Aoi and Meiko against Asuka and Utami. Asuka and Utami, of course, do retain. Asuka submits Aoi Maikawa with an Asuka lock in 10:51 to make defense number 2 of the women's tag titles. Actually, no, more specifically, Asuka should pin Meiko Satomura with a kick. Specifically, Asuka pinning Meiko. 86 for Utami, 89 for Asuka, 73 for Meiko, and a 78 for Aoi Maikawa. And, of course, Yoko is watching this at ringside because she is a member of Ichiban. And then, Cammy, approaches her ringside and she goes, see that? Do you want that to be who trains you around here? A loser like Meiko Satomura has been like Meiko Satomura. Asuka, she is the past, present, and future of women's wrestling here in Japan. You could be under great leadership. You could follow in the footsteps of Io Sky, of Utami Hayashishita, of Asuka, and be the next great Japanese women's star here in America. All you've got to do is grow up, ditch those two losers, and bow down. That's when Julia does come out. She gets into the ring and she gets into the face of Asuka and Utami in the ring. And Yoko, of course, has slid into the ring as well. She's standing side by side with Julia. And, they're ready to fight. When Julia does, stiff forearms to Aoi Maikawa and Meiko Satomura, leaving them laying. And then just slides out of the ring. Obviously not touching the Queendom girls. And Yoko does look a bit confused because she thought, I've just been badmouthed by these bitches. Come defend me. You're my friend. And she's left them hanging. But of course, one little caveat in here I did forget about until right this second is that, Yoko technically has sat under the learning tree of Asuka before. Because they were all in Dominion together. So, yeah. That's another little wrinkle to add into it. All of this shit connects. It's fine. Next week, we got it will be night 2 of the WWE draft. It'll be the ECW night. We don't know any specific matches for that night like we do on Raw, but we do know that Triple H will announce the new interim ECW General Manager in the absence of Paul Heyman. Look forward to finding out who that is next week. We then get a pre-tape. It's one of those Hook New York promos where he's walking around the streets of New York with his hood up at night. And it's cold and he speaks, you can see his breath and all that shit. He's got the Dudleys with him and they're just walking around New York. He goes, to a lot of people, the home of ECW is Philadelphia, but to me, it's right here in New York City. To me, growing up with my dad, their dad, doing things on television that nobody was allowed to do, it changed me. It made me the man I am today. And for Matt Cardona, of all people, to say I was handed everything. To say that I'm only where I am because I'm Taz's son. I don't respect that. He ain't no television champion. He never was. He's a fraud. This is the new breed of Extreme, not Matt Cardona. He may call himself the Deathmatch King, but we're the kings. The princes of Extreme. And the new face of Extreme. Be mad about it. 84. For Jimmy versus Jay, that's fine. Because of the way TEW works as a game, with like how I've got it set up. I knew this wasn't going to be complete dog shit like the one in real life. But, yeah. 84 is still not overly great. And we finally have, the ratings correcting themselves here. Because Jay gets a 91 and Jimmy gets a 76. But, of course, it is Jay who makes sense number one of the ECW World title. 13.56 for Super Kick. Yeah. We get shades of some of the drama from the real match. I do think there was a nugget of a good idea there. It's just the entire context around everything from the build to Jimmy's turn being so early and so fucking nonsensical to just the cold atmosphere in the stadium to it being in a stadium to everything else. I think we can mismatch a decent match out of this. And then after the match, of course, Jay's standing tall. The crowds are loving him. They're yeeting, I believe is the scientific term now used on television. They're yeeting up and down in the crowds. And Jimmy gets to his feet, and he watches. He sort of just looks around as the crowd's yeeting along with Jay. And, he gives a yeet himself. They boo the fuck out of him. It's like SpongeBob and Squidward coming out the curtain. Like, they cheer Jay, boo Jimmy. And then Jimmy walks up to Jay. And he offers out a handshake to his twin brother. And Jay sort of looks at it confused. He looks up at Jimmy. The crowd's going, no, 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 no. But Jay looks like he might... You can see the gears turning. He might be considering shaking the hands of his twin brother. But he's wiped out from behind by Warden. Warden gets the incredible boos. Warden beats him up. He beats Jay up on the floor. He ground and pounds him. He sticks them big elbows in him. Jimmy's just sort of watching as this all goes down. Like, he's torn whether he wants to help Jay here. But in the end, he does slide out of the ring. Head in his hands. As he lets his twin brother get assaulted by Warden. And then Warden gives him the 3 power bombs to end the show. 84. Sure. Fine. The 2 title matches on this show weren't actually as good as I thought they were going to. Well, this was. That one is a little bit disappointing. That's the first time in my life I've ever been let down by the God. I mean, he still got a blue, but I was expecting a 90 plus. Anyway, I might as well you thought of the show. It's literally what you thought in the comments below. There's nothing after ECW. For some reason, more than one of you wanted to see me do WWE Speed. So that may eventually become a B show after ECW. Because, spoiler for the next set of goal settings, if you want to actually cheese them. If there's a goal I get given more than once, I will take it. Unless it's something egregiously awful. But, yeah. So, because more than one people want to do WWE Speed, I guess I've got to do it. So, I guess at some point that will become the B show after ECW. But I still haven't really set that all up yet. I was contemplating adding it or integrating it into Velocity somehow. Maybe. But then you've got Cruiserweight belt, Cruiserweight Trios belts, and a Speed belt on Velocity, while Heat only has the Women's Liberty title and the Women's Tag titles. So they'd need a third Women's title, and it all just gets messy if I've got fucking four belts, 3 world titles, 3 mid-card titles, 3 tag titles, 3 women's titles, and then a mid-card women's title, a women's tag title, a Cruiserweight Trios title, a Cruiserweight title, a Speed title, and then another women's title. That's just too many belts. So, yeah. Anyway, that was a ramble. I'll see you. I don't know if the Slimies video is up yet. It probably is. I think I will. It'll probably be either up before this or after, depending on if they're both edited in time. But probably the same day. But yeah, I'll see you next time for either that or SmackDown. See you then.